we both felt immediate regret because we were like,
oh no.
And they even said that on like the side effects of tubals. They were like, it's in the list. It's like, you may have regret. And I was like, oh, shoot. I didn't think I'd be one of the people that fell into that category because I thought like I was done.
Yeah.
And then I had this whole thing about like, Valley doesn't have a sister and like I never had a sister, and so it would be really cool to give her a sister specifically, and like we could go through IVF and just like have a girl. And then it was just like, I think it was like a pipe dream. And so not that I don't necessarily feel that way now, I just think that like if we added more, it might take away from the ones that we have. Does that make sense? And so like if we didn't get tubals and if he didn't get a vasectomy, like would we have had another? Maybe. It's possible. But then I was talking about fostering, and that's not an option because there's too many kids in our household. So like we're like disqualified from that.
Really? Okay.
But I mean, I would be open to like private adoption probably, like if someone needed, because we have the means and we have the resources and we have the house and we have all the things, and like I don't know, I would hate to see a child that is growing up in a situation like I grew up and not have anywhere to go. And like, so I would be open to that, I think.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Like I just, helping other people through the same stuff that I went through.
How do you go from I never want to have kids to now I have 7 kids and now you want to keep having more kids?
Well, because I grew up an only child. I didn't even grow up with my cousins or anything. So I didn't have any, like, I asked my mom one time where kids came from, and she told me you have to pray really hard. So I was like, okay, bet. And I prayed really hard and never got one. So I was like 7 or 8 years had gone by. So I was like, okay, where do dogs come from? We have to pray really hard. So I prayed really hard and never got one. So I'm like, I'm doing all the things. So I'm like, I wanted a sibling so bad that I never wanted my son, when I had him, to grow up wanting a sibling. So then, you know what I mean? And then I met Elijah, and I didn't want to deprive him either because he grew up with a really big family. And so if he wanted kids, like I didn't want him to not be able to have his own. And so I think it all worked out truly.